F099's version 1.5 update is here, and it looks like maybe Nintendo finally got around to watching my video on the state of the game. We've had a few update patches since then, one of which included significant balance changes which I've covered previously. The 1.4 update was mostly cosmetic, but this time around we get some meat on the bone. New tracks, new collectibles, and a few balance changes that buff the Wild Goose and Fire Stingray after the beating they took from the 1.3 update. Or does it actually buff them? Let's go under the hood of the 1.5 update in this episode of F099 Pit Zone. While the 1.5 update includes a ton of new collectibles and customizables related to the 1-year anniversary of the game, I'm going to shift my focus to the gameplay changes that have been added, namely new tracks and balance changes. 5 new tracks have been added, all from the Japan-exclusive BS F-Zero Grand Prix for the Super Famicom. These tracks include Mut City 4, Sandstorm 1 and 2, Big Blue 2, and Silence 2. We unfortunately don't get any of the new vehicles also featured in the game, but hey, new tracks are a start, right? The 5 new tracks come across almost like remixes of the Night League tracks. Mut City, Big Blue, and Silence have gotten a makeover, and Sandstorm 1 and 2 are like Sand Ocean Red Canyon mashups. Let's take a quick look at what each track has in store. Mut City 4 is your typical Mut City affair. The track layout is the same as Mut City 1 with a few tweaks. The straightaway after turn 3 features a sequence of large and small dash pads, followed by the zigzag portion of Mut City. Here you get to make a choice. Head straight ahead and hit a series of jump pads to take a wide angle, or turn right and go through the zigzag area. Both paths meet up for another few dash pads before a 180 turn to the finish line. Not too much complexity here. Non-Stingray drivers may want to take the jump pads for extra speed boost, but boosting through the zigzag is slightly faster since there's no rough present. If you're familiar with Mut City 1, Mut City 4 will give you no problems whatsoever. Sandstorm 1 is a new location from the updated tracks. This track has a very Sand Ocean feel with some new wrinkles included. First off, there is no wind on this track. It looks like there should be with the flying particles in the air, but those will play a different role later on. After 3 sharp hairpin turns to start the race, a dangerous straightaway looms. Mines down the center, and the track area is severely reduced. This area is going to get crowded quickly. The rest of the track is fairly straightforward, until at some point during the 3rd lap of the race, the storm intensifies and visibility is greatly reduced. This last series of S-curves comes up on you quickly when you can't see as well. Big Blue 2, again, like Mut City 4, has a similar feel as its original counterpart. The major change here is a broken straightaway with jump pads scattered left and right. While it might be exciting to go to the left and hit the jump pad island, it's much more simpler to go straight and use the magnets to control your jump height. Sandstorm 2, in my opinion, is a much easier version of Sandstorm 1. The mine straightaway is replaced here with a center magnet similar to Firefield. Either leaning or driving at an angle makes avoiding this easy. There is one spot where this track tries to pull a dirty trick on you. During the later laps with low visibility, do not forget the 2 turns before this dash pad. If you go straight for the shiny, you'll get a painful reminder of the track layout. Silence 2 presents the most approach options out of all the new tracks. The typical 90-degree silence turns are here, with mine hazards as well. This turn can be cut significantly by hitting the jump pad at the right angle. Next up comes a crazy section where the rails are replaced with jump pads, and any number of paths can be taken. This last jump pad can be used to cut this turn by a big margin. Overall, the update brings us new tracks that have a familiar feel. The difficulty level is probably between Knight and Queen League tracks, which will be welcoming to new players. Now let's talk about the balance changes that come along with this update. The patch notes tell us that the Wild Goose and Fire Stingray both get boost speed increases, and the Stingray gets even more buffs, which were badly needed after it got mega nerfed with the 1.3 update. Wild Goose's boost speed gets about a 2% increase, while the Fire Stingray's boost speed range gets increased by only 1%. Modest increases that bring these vehicles more in line with the Blue Falcon's boost speed. Let's check out the other buffs that the Fire Stingray gets with this update. We'll start with an easy one. Decreased amount of power per boost. Pre-patch, the Stingray used 44 hit points or 102 pixels of power per boost. After the 1.5 update, the Stingray uses pretty much the same amount? Wait, there's no way that the patch notes were wrong again, is there? Let's look at the boosts per full power bar. Pre-update, Stingray has 4 boosts per full power bar. Post-update, 4 boosts per full power bar. Okay, there's a little left over, but this amount doesn't even get you close to a full boost. Okay, so we've got 1 big Stingray buff listed in the patch notes. There can't be more, right? Right? Fire Stingray's dashpad top speed before the 1.5 update was 903 km per hour. The update brings that top speed up to 923. Some of the time. Other times, your top speed only gets to 823, which, last time I checked, is less than the pre-update speed. What gives? What I think is going on here is that Nintendo increased the Stingray's top dash speed, but reduced the peak speed time to less than a frame. Sometimes you reach 923 on the frame count, and sometimes you reach it off frame. Either way, this is still not a full buff, since the Stingray's top dash speed of 903 lasted at least 1 frame prior to the 1.5 patch. By the way, Wild Goose's top dash speed also works in this way now, with a top speed of 875 or 950 depending on the frame. Blue Falcon and Golden Fox's top dash speed are still pegged at 999. It's hard to measure the last change from the patch notes about the damage and repulsion rates from racer bumps, with Nintendo server's capabilities still not being able to translate gameplay events with enough accuracy. But from a subjective standpoint, it feels as though this one is a legitimate buff. So what do we make of these balance changes? Well, I'm not really sure, to be honest. 2 of the Fire Stingray changes listed in the notes are just straight up wrong, and the other 2 are minor at best. The small change in boost speed is not really going to help the Wild Goose either. I very highly doubt this update is going to have any effect on the current game meta. And once again, Nintendo is stuck spinning its wheels and at a loss of how to handle their online games. Maybe they're waiting to add some new machines before making any meaningful balance changes, or maybe they're just trying to get away with doing the least possible. Either way, the best thing in this update is the new tracks. So get out there and enjoy them. I'll be updating my vehicle breakdown video with the new data from this patch as soon as possible, and make sure to stay tuned for my analysis of any future game updates. Thanks for watching!